who, well, one of my cats who wants to be involved. God, I'm so good at this. Where is... Weird. I don't know why that's not working. I'll just put that up over there. Okay, I am nearly ready to get in. So now that I've done the advertising, I need to do one more thing. Cool. Okay, well, now it should probably be good. Cool, cool, cool. And just, sorry, one more thing I need to check, blah, blah, blah. Looks like the colours might be slightly washed out on that side, it's hard to tell. Okay, so I actually forgot one thing. Anyway, here we are back on our shell optimizer run. I actually forgot one thing over here that's quite useful. So we're going to go grab that. So last time we grabbed the Flaming Strike Ash of War. But there is this guy right here. Come back here. Come back. And if we beat him up, we get Sacred Blade. So he's right here. And Sacred Blade is a nice little Ash of War that, much like the one we picked up already, Flaming Strike, it lets us do an attack and enchant our weapon. In Sacred Blade's case, it unsurprisingly enchants our weapon with holy damage. Who could have seen this coming? So we aren't going to use that all the time, but what we're going to do is we are going to crouch down here, not on our large Huey club, whoops, and we're going to pop it onto our other club. And this just gives us a weapon we can pull out and use whenever we feel like it, mainly when there's a bunch of annoying enemies in skeletons is what I'm thinking of using it for. The other thing we're just going to do here is quickly put a lot of these weapons away into the thing. This is just because we've got no real plans to use most of them just yet. So it makes it easier for us to find things. It's a little thing, but it's one of those little things that really helps. Got some arrows, which I need to actually find real arrows, not fire arrows. I don't remember where to get those. I'm sure there's a merchant that sells them. I know we can craft them as well. In fact, there we go. We'll use those later for a trick. Whoa, that's funky. What the hell? That's wacky as hell. Okay. I'm guessing. I'm willing to bet that's ray tracing fucking up. Oh, have not been applied, huh? Oh, now it's fine. Fucking weird. But our HDR seems to be working. Thanks God. This game sometimes it's a little frustrating to say the least on the tech front. Okay, so first things first. Now we are going to start actually doing some things. And then from there we can head off and tackle Margit, the Foul Lumen, and start towards Stormvale. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take a trip over here. If I'm remembering correctly, this is where I can drop down safely. Yep. And this lets us drop down, and now we can deal with this guy, Bloody Finger Neregus. He also drops, if you're going some kind of bleed arcane build, he drops a very nice unique dagger. You're late, mate. Like, come on. You had one job, Yura. One job. Okay. What we're actually doing, though, is we're going down here to Murkwater Cave, and we're going to meet a friend. A very trustworthy friend who would never ever betray us. Spoiler, we're getting betrayed. Dagger, interesting. I don't think we've got any use for that, but hey, instantly poisoned, that's amusing. Doesn't really affect us. Please ignore the peeping in the background. That is Otto continuing to be, well, Otto. It's probably peeping because it's getting near to his dinner time. So we'll have to hop up briefly to do some stuff for that. Okay. Time to see a man about some underpants. You know, it's kind of embarrassing that people have died in here. We're not going to guard break him because we do not want to kill this guy, as he's actually very useful. When we get an emote, I mean, like, that's always important. How else can we grovel for mercy? Otto is very determined I should be paying attention to him instead of paying attention to this. So we just have to run back to the entrance here. Turn this on so we can actually see what we're doing. May as well beat these two guys up. I mean, that's free runes. I think that's how it works. You beat people up, you get runes. Definitely applicable to real life. Yeah, he sells a couple of things. One, he's got this cookbook. We don't really care about this, but he does have some more gold pickled foulfoots. Always good. But what we really want from him is this thing, Margit Shackle. So we are just going to sell off our excess runes there. Let's see if we've got any others we can sell. We do, because we want to pick up those foulfoots. He also sells fan daggers. These are really nice if you're doing PvP. And he sells a missionary's cookbook that I cannot for the life of me remember what it does, so we'll come back for that later, assuming I remember. Is there anything else he sells that's worth pointing out? There's a parrying dagger, which is okay. It's not as good as small shields. I would just personally say skip it. Another stone sword key. But we've got 5 of those already, we're not really hurting. Grace mimics are pointless, I've never found a use for them, they're mostly for fucking with invaders. And you can just craft these so easily, it's not really worth it. And this does not have stats that make it notable, I should say. This is predictably a trap. We're not going to fall for the trap. But we are going to jump back to the entrance. And find our way out in the inky gloom. Grief, HDR, making things very dark sometimes. I really hope this doesn't mean my HDR has gotten screwed up again. I'll have to have another fiddle sometime. It looks about right. I did have to turn my brightness down because I was searing my own eyes. I'm going to run to the north here because lurking in this gloomy area is Yura, and we need to talk to him. He's all dramatic about shit. But that's okay. Oh yeah, remember how I mentioned that we were going to have a sacred club for reasons? Well, watch this. So not only does that do massive damage to undead, but because of the weapon skill, Sacred Blade, it one-shots them and stops, not one-shots them, bleh, I know English, it stops them from reviving automatically. A very pleasant upside. Okay, that done though, we can put our normal club back on. And what we're going to do is we're going to run down here and we're going to head over to the mine. We're going to do the mine because it has a useful little talisman in it. But more importantly, it's a way to get some more upgrade materials. These are always handy. and we can use those to upgrade our large club and keep it up to date alongside our stone clip. As you can see, like that's the difference. The having the sacred club made. So we're just gonna also, like, come on, sacred blade looks awesome. It's even got some uses for situations like here. Oh, doesn't quite reach. Learn to do your skills while you jump, Tarnished. Come on. Fail. Oh well, we'll just thump these guys while we run past. Or get stabbed. It's fine. Yeah, just a really handy little thing to have as something we can hot swap to. And the good thing is, because it has the 500%, no, sorry, not 500%, God, what am I even saying? What is English? Because it has the 100% damage multiplier, not 500%, fucking hell, can you imagine, to undead, we don't need to worry about upgrading it too much. Like, it will just absolutely wreck undead for a very long time. But what we're actually coming along here for is this place, the mines. Now, there are elevators down, but I'm going to show you all a little trick. These elevators always have a way that you can safely climb down them without activating them. Not only that, but they normally have something tucked in them, even entire alternate routes, or even actually the primary route on the way down. And because of the way this game reuses assets, any cave has one of these elevators. And then you can just call it down when you get down. Nice and simple. The other reason we took a club as one of our main go-tos is you will run across these assholes, and they are very resistant to damage that isn't strike or elemental. Worse, if you're using a normal weapon, I'll just quickly demonstrate. This happens, you run up, you bonk them, oh okay, and you bounce off. Not very fun. There's a way around that though. If you two-hand your weapon, it avoids the bouncing. Or you can just, you know, get a club and do that to them. You do have to be careful with some of them that have this pack on their back, as if they're touched with fire damage, they will start to flail around and then they will explode. And, you know, that's bad. But for now, we can just get bitten in the face by rats. Something that I'm bad at, but it's worth trying to learn, is that you have got, if you just tap the dodge button without inputting any control, you do this backstep. There are no iframes on it. But you can go like backstep into various follow-up attacks, including this nice R1 upward swing. And yeah, it's just one of those little things that's worth being aware of as it adds another move to your arsenal. And look at this, I forgot to pick up a smithing stone. As I said, we're mostly just getting these so that we can upgrade our heavy club. Once again, instead of taking the elevator down, we can take the route down here, dink donk, which we have goofed because the path was behind us. We have been fooled, bamboozled, showing up. But now we're down at the bottom, we can just call that. So we'll go this way and backtrack when we need to, because if I remember correctly, the boss is actually at the backtracking way. Ah, dog ahead. The worst thing. Thankfully, we can just smack dogs. Bad dog. Literally, we're just doing this to get the smithing stones. That's all we really care about. But, you know, nice little supply. Honestly, from a strict optimization point of view, this probably isn't too necessary. Once we get through Stormvale, we can get unlimited smithing stones 1s and 2. Heck, we could actually go and get unlimited smithing stones 1s and 2 very easily right now. Ah, here's one of the... Boom! But you know, like, this is chill optimization, not super optimized. I reckon that playing the game is fun. I actually think there's a good argument to take your time and go through stuff, and that is that it just helps you learn what your character is doing. It helps you build up those reflexes and things. And that is, in my opinion, more useful. There's nothing wrong with speedrunning through stuff and things. Like, it's a valid, very valid playstyle and approach. But again, it's just about what you want to do and what you want to get. And right now, I favor the experience in terms of actual gameplay experience than I do being perfectly optimal. And if you're a new player, which is, or you know, a player who's still learning the game, I would encourage you to also favor that over being strictly optimal. Pop out fast. It's really not strictly necessary at all. We should be able to thump this guy very easily. That'll be easier. Okay, wow, he's starts broken and drops straight into the wall. Boom. Raw medallion is really cool. There are a lot of things that count as raws that it buffs. This includes the dragon incantations. We aren't planning to use those really this run. We may eventually pick up 3 arcane later on and demonstrate them. There's a couple of bosses, but yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of them. But you know, if you are looking to do dragon communion stuff, it's really worth knowing about them, as they do a bunch of damage. Also, a fun little fact with these guys, I don't have a way to demonstrate it right now, as I have no way to make poison happen. But if you do poison them, they actually overload and explode. And it's hilarious because they will chain this explosion. We're just going to pop over to the Church of Ele. And I think it is time we go do Fingerfolk Hero's grave. Which also means we can demonstrate why I picked up Margit Shackle. Let me just check something. Okay, cool. Strength and Armament, blah blah blah. Bing bing. Oh, we need 2 more. Yeah, we'll find them. What else? What else? There's a couple of other things. I think we'll do Fingerfoot Kara's grave though. That's fun. Genuinely, actually somewhat fun. It has some good loot in it that's worth knowing about, including one thing that you probably don't know about. Whoops, I went to the wrong thing. We want the Stranded Graveyard. It also has the Dragon Communion Seal, not something we're going to use personally, but well worth being aware of. Yeah. Little note here with these guys. These take different amount of stone sword keys. They either take 2 or they take 1. And I do apologize, I know folks can hear me on my controller and keyboard. Can anyone who's listening just confirm whether they... You can hear the game, right? It certainly looks like it's being picked up. I'll have to fiddle with that later and check. Okay. Yep. One tip for poison areas like this: do not roll in them. If you roll in them, you get covered in poison, and it's horrible. And also, that's the big horrible thing that runs people over in here. Good news is, if you pay attention to the timing, he's actually very safe. We can run behind him right now. He's going to get down to the bottom, come up, and that gives us just enough time while sprinting to get up here. We could have actually made the cycle easily to get down to the next one while he was going up, but we're just going to come over here, do this, and we're going to wait for him to get all the way down again, because he will try and chase us. And we do not want to be chased by that guy. So we're going to drop down here, and then rather than continuing to deal with that jerk, I'm not going to go for the bait. So you see, if we're just over here, wait for it. Oh no, he's coming. Whee! We can drop right down here. Crunch. Okay. Time to explain about Margit Shackle. So this, where did it go in my inventory? It's somewhere in here. This is nominally supposed to be used on a couple of bosses to bind them. But it has a funky little hidden thing. See, that thing's a flamethrower, right? Oh no, fire, bad. And what you're supposed to do is either time it so you run past it, or use a bow to shoot it and deactivate it. But did you know that you can just go like this? See, the way Margit Shackle works is it just does a hit that does no damage in a giant AoE. And boom, that puts it down. Now I'm going to beat this guy up, and I need to hop AFK briefly, folks. I've got to feed my cats and stuff. I'll be right back. Well done, buddy. Well done. You make this a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Whoops. Shut auto out in the daytime. That's not how it's supposed to go at all. And I'm back. Ash, I'm just going to fiddle with a couple of things on the stream. Testing. We want open. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. And testing. Testing. Sorry, folks, I'm just figuring something out. Testing, testing. Okay. Well, hopefully this works. Okay. Anyway, now that we've got things back and working, so we've successfully shut off the flamethrower. Hooray, hooray. Something fun with the flamethrower as well is, oh no, there's things in here. Whatever will we do? Well, we'll get hit in the face apparently. We can use the flamethrower against them. In theory. That's weird. Maybe I'm misremembering one from a different dungeon, which is kind of hilarious if so. You can, however, just as a general note, use environmental traps like that to help you with said stunts and things. Okay. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Grab that. Got the things in there. Also, these can be, as you just saw, ridden upon. Alright, that's that one gets some applause. And then we come down here. Be wary of up and then try down. Very vague messages. What they actually mean is that, as you might be able to see, there's an arsehole up there. And there is another arsehole. Somewhere in the recesses that we were locking on to. I am having. Oh, he's right up there. If you want to deal with jerks like that, the best thing to do is grab a bow. And while we can't pull that one easily, we can just, in theory, wow, okay, I have no idea why that arrow is shooting. What the hell? Is that because this is a short bow? Is that why it's fucking up? Okay. Well, that's embarrassing for me. Funny for you all, though. You can just use that to pull them. We could also just grab the thing and run back. Which, what the hell? I'll just demonstrate. These guys are also non-respawning, so it choose favor. This is an interesting little talisman. It absolutely has its uses. Look. Drop down. Drop down. Find our way to the elevator. And there's actually going to be a real arsehole up here. But we've got some reasons to come up here. Get our weapon enchanted. Ooh, he's got glowing eyes. We really want to kill him. Oh! Ah! Roll buffering. Okay, we took him down. Glowing eyes, I think I mentioned before, they drop 5 times the runes they normally do. Anyway, real reason to come down here, or rather up here, is you might recognize that. Wait, isn't that asshole here? But suddenly, look, what are these? And they're suspended by string. I'm gonna just wait a moment. Okay, this is awful. I may need to go and get a different bow for this. Wow, okay, this is horrible. What I was going to demonstrate was that you can use a bow to shoot those down, and then if you get the timing right, it drops on top of this thing and kills it. Unfortunately, apparently, I picked up the wrong fucking bow for this because I'm very clever. Short bows are terrible. That's what we learned today, kids. However, we don't actually need to fight that thing. Not yet, at least. We'll come back for it. We can drop down here. As long as we keep a air out, because it will try and catch up and crush us. We can actually even run down like this. There it comes. This is great because we are nearly there. Squish! 3 runes. Handy, huh? Yeah. Now we can do the boss. So let's just heal up. We drink our thing. Two-handed our weapon. You will get very familiar with these jerks, unfortunately. Good news is, oops, I did that wrong. They're very weak to fire. And if you don't muff the combos like I just did, you can stun them pretty easily. Ooh. One thing that throwing knives are good for is posture damage regenerates after 6 seconds of them not taking damage. So one reason to have a whole bunch of throwing daggers is just so you can do what you saw me doing there, where when I'm away from the boss and don't think I can get in too easily, I can just sprinkle some in to get some free damage. And you can even, as you saw, use them like that to get some extra damage. You can also, I believe, use throwing knives to do things like the knocking the pots down, but it's a pain. The main reason, though, we came all the way down here, though, was when we got another golden seed for upgrading our flask. Always a good thing. 2, we got more runes. Also always a good thing. But 3, we got this guy. We can't summon him just yet. We are at 95 out of the 100 FP needed. So we are going to pop one more level into mind, which lets us summon him. This guy, Banished Knight Oleg, he's just a really good summon. He does good damage, he's very aggressive, and he will be our bosom friend for a large majority of the game until we can pick up some of the more powerful ashes. And at 100 FP, you only need 16 mine to be able to summon him. This is a lot easier to do than some of the things like Lure Tower Headless. Yeah. Cool. What else do we need to sort out? So we've got the raw medallion, we've got the axe medallion. A couple of catacombs and things around here. There's of course Fire Dragon Akil. In a moment, I'm just sorting something in the background. La-di-da-di-da. Ah, right. Oop, I've just remembered now I've reminded myself what's in those various dungeons. There are a couple of things that are worth going for. As always, if you're like near a level up pop, it's worth taking the time to grab your runes and see how close you are. A fast way to do it, by the way, is to stop past a merchant and use the sell option. You can just go down, sell, sell, sell. And we're going to pop that into faith again. We are just pushing towards a particular breakpoint, which is having 15 faith. And 15 faith will let us cast a fairly specific spell we want, which is called Flame Grant Me Strength. It's just a very nice buff spell. For now, we're going to run up and do this little cave over here. There are a few nice things in this early cave. We're not going to backtrack and shoot down the thing for now, just because the only thing it gets you is a great bow, which is cool if you do need a great bow, but it is not of interest to me and the playstyle I'm going for. I honestly do wonder if my colours are a little bit off with this HDR. May have to fiddle with things a bit more. We'll get back to that. You can be very, very sneaky if you want with things in this game. So always have a look out and see if you can get away with a jump. You know, things like a jump attack. Or plunging attack, as they used to be called back in my day. Silver fireflies are useful. You can later on combine them in a recipe with foul feet to make the item finding thing. Not a huge deal, but again, it's just one of those little things that's nice to know about. Boop. And also, like, this dungeon is all of 5 seconds long. We're gonna drink our Wondrous Physic once again, which I'm pretty... No, I did use that last time. trade hits, and he's down. Truly a fight for the ages. But we got this thing. This gives us 10% fire negation. Doesn't sound like a lot, but like right now we're taking 3% more damage if we get hit by lightning. We pop this thing on, we will literally take way less fire damage. It's actually a really big deal. It's the sort of thing that can add up really quickly. I'm just trying to remember a couple of other things. Okay. Sorry, getting slightly distracted while I think about where we go next. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna pop all the way over here. We're going to talk to Fair Irina.
Hello, my token. My name is a servant, sir. But I swear my good father decided himself. The servants who've since come, I fear it's no different, but please, would you mind when my soul release? Thank you, then please.
We'll take that.
Deliver it to my father.
She is important for a quest line in a bit. We aren't actually going to do the quest. We don't care. But we are... There is some useful stuff we can get by delivering the letter anyway. Grab some mushrooms as we go past. instead what we're going to do is we're going to run around here. Now there's actually, I'll point out this even though I'm not particularly like feeling the need for it as a tool, but it's may as well point these things out because they're useful to know about. One is that we can bump some guys over here. Oop. Climb up here. This lets us disable that annoying crossbow. Not really a huge deal, but it also lets us pick up a hand ballista, which can be of interest to some builds. Strength builds sometimes like the hand ballistas, what you can do with them. It's not really my thing. I've never found such weapons super useful, but again, it's one of those, it exists, it's worth knowing about type things. Kill the demi-humans before they kill us. Yeah, it's not really how it works, but you know. I should also point out we're actually well and truly strong enough here. We could probably get past Margit and easily clear Stormvale Castle. But again, it's fun to take your time. It's worth just coming and finding some things. Rainbow stones are actually really useful. I haven't really talked about them yet. We'll get into them in a little bit. These things you can use to summon a ghost and he will lead you somewhere. He takes fucking forever to walk around though. He is the slowest guy to ever exist. It's really annoying. So instead what we're going to do is we're just going to go where he leads us down here anyway. Ta-da! Watch out for the cracked floor with the convenient chest to lure you in. But you can get past it anyway. Pickled turtle nets are great, and then I can fall into things because I'm great at this. Oop. Rat. I do feel like my reds are looking a little too red and my yellows are not quite showing up well on. Seems to be fine on the recording, but yeah. Oh, anyway, that's a complete digression. Do not ask me what my cat is peeping about in the background. He's a good boy, but okay, so we've made our way back to the start. Whoops. Otto, you're very silly. Just the silliest wee lad. Very rude that didn't get both of them. More cookies is nice. Cookie. I need to look up how to pronounce that. This is actually a great time to just demonstrate why I have rainbow stones in my inventory. So you can toss a rainbow stone like that, and if it breaks on the way down, which it might do. No. If you throw them and they break, then you know that the drop is lethal. If I remember, this is where the boss is. Well, this is why we went to the length to get Oleg, by the way. I mean, we could easily take this rune bear, but come on, Oleg. Come on, we're really betting on you making a good showing here. He's doing crap. But like you can see, he's a nice distraction. And he's actually very aggressive, which is good because it means that he just will keep laying into the boss. Makes it easy to get stuns like that. And he gets a lot better on damage as we upgrade him. Anyway, the reason we came down here is the Spelldrake Talisman. Once again, it is just a very nice little thing to pick up. It's a free 10% damage buff. Sorry, not damage buff, damage resistance against a fairly common damage type, which is magic. So there are a bunch of bosses we can pull this out. There are upgraded versions you can find throughout the game, but I mean, while they're better, they do not stack. So 12%, 13%. I think it goes what? 13%, 17%, 20%, 22% for the fully upgraded version. There's really no harm in just grabbing this one now, especially how quick that is. And you've got, if you're having trouble with something doing a lot of magic damage, pop it on and you would be surprised at how much of a difference it makes. Resistances are really important. I know I've shown these guys before, but we'll just squish them in passing. Oh hey, we got the sword spear. Very nice. That is a great weapon to have available to add into our repertoire. Oh, yep, there's one other thing. This is something we don't need in our build at all, but I'm going to point it out because I know there'll be people playing this who are interested in casters. There's a boss in this ruin called Demi-Human Maggie. And if you're going a low-end build, she drops the best staff in the game. It's worth pointing out there is the plus gravity damage. I can't remember the name of it. It's a staff you can find in Caelid, and it's quite easy to get. We didn't bother to get it, which we probably should have, but oh well. Which is better until I think plus 8, until you get the demi-human staff up to upgrade plus 18. But it's still worth knowing about this if you're interested in doing some casting. If you think that maybe using a staff that you don't have to upgrade is unfair. She also drops the Crystal Burst spell, which, the final thing is, if I remember correctly, yep, there is a bowl with the Faith Not Crystal Tear. Pop that in. I think it's either plus 5 or plus 10 faith. I would have to look it up for, I believe, 3 minutes or something. There are some uses for that sort of thing, if you need to temporarily meet a threshold for some reason. What else? Okay, I haven't actually mentioned these guys yet. These statues are really handy. If you find one of these statues in the world, go talk to it, well, press button, and it gives you this little blue line, and that blue line will indicate the general position of a dungeon, specifically a mausoleum. Catacombs are worth knowing about, by the way, simply because when you kill things in catacombs, sorry, not kill things in catacombs, brain. I am a little bit fuzzy-headed, I apologize, folks. Not when you kill things, but you'll find what's called grave and ghost glove wort in catacombs, and it's quite plentiful. And you use that to upgrade your spirit ashes. Which is really quite handy. There are a lot of catacombs in the game, arguably too many. But they do have some very excited boys like that. And it is just one of those worth knowing about. Because it's really helpful. Also, remember what I said about Margaret Shackle? They will actually just demonstrate a different way you can do this. You can use your looking glass to aim. Now, throwing knives don't have much range, but cookies have a lot of range. I still would just use Margaret Shackle because it's easier. But, you know, I'm not the boss of you. You should do what you think is fun. That's right, this is the one. Also, the main reason I came down here is actually just to get one of the prattling pets. So instead of fighting them for us, we'll have the flamethrower do it. Oh no, they're reviving. How could this... Gee, that seems really unfortunate for them. It's also worth pointing out, by the way, you can just kill skeletons completely normally. You just beat them once, and then you beat them up a couple of more times, and they stay dead. I'm just showing it with a Sacred Blade because it's a nice little trick to know about. Also, you know, that looks awesome. The power of the would-be Elden Lord compels you. Yeah, these are cool, by the way, the prattling peats. Just a fun little way to let you communicate in a very goofy fashion. in when you're doing multiplayer, which I haven't really talked about. Lunatelle the Headless is a useful spirit to know about. She's not my favourite or anything. I think she's too expensive personally, but she is very, very tanky as these things go. Some people quite like that. And that is, handy. I just find that she honestly feels like she kind of asses around a whole lot. So, yeah. Okay, next thing we're doing. These are called Spirit Risers or whatever. We've already seen one of these earlier in the game, but they're how you, earlier in the game, earlier in the run, you have to go talk to that and solve its riddle. In this case, the riddle is smack turtles. I'm not really sure why smacking turtles is considered wise, but I mean, what else are you going to do when a fancy gargoyle fellow tells you how to open a door with his fancy little book thing? That was English. My brain's functional. Get the memory star. Give me just a moment, folks. I just want to tweak this thing a little bit. So I'm just testing some things, folks. One day I'll be fancy, all set up and professional. Okay. Cool. Oof, I am getting tired. I may cut the stream short soon. I would like to get Margit done before we fully cut things short. But anyway, let's just pop over here. There's a couple more things to address. One is Starlight Shards. So nominally you can eat these to get FP. Don't do this. That's a terrible idea. They are a limited quantity item that does not respawn. Game does not tell you this, by the way. And they're a currency to purchase things with. There are a lot of things I like in this game, and there are some things that I am very the fuck about. Bonk. I swear I actually did have a useful reason to randomly murder a bird. Okay. This thing's first. I believe that's where I want to pop over to. Do a couple more things, then I'm going to end my stream for now. So one, did you know there's a boss hidden over here? One of these assholes. Thankfully, Sacred Blade absolutely wrecks these jerks, so... Just the most randomly hidden boss. He only spawns at night. Do not ask me why he is there. I do not know. Oops. Other stuff. Actually, I should come down here. So we've had, unfortunately, crap all luck getting a brass shield so far. So I'm going to provoke the game into dropping it. That is not how the game works, for the record. But everyone knows you can trick desire sensors. And it's worth pointing this out anyway. If you come over here to talk to this guy, the shield that he sells, the blue gold kite shield, this is a 100% physical negation shield. It has pretty good guard boost as well, and it's a bit lighter than the brass shield. It just doesn't get as good a guard boost. This guy also sells unlimited arrows, which is nice to know about. So we're just going to grab that shield for now. Hopefully we'll see the brass shield eventually, but a 100% physical damage shield is nice to have. You can go over here, put barricade on it. Our heater shield is actually even lighter, but as you can see, its elemental resists aren't very good, and its guard boost is worse. Guard boost is how much stamina you lose when you're smacked in, when you block an attack. So a high guard boost is a valuable thing. We have the barricade shield on it now. Note, by the way, here the great shield we had dropped, much heavier, but look at that extra guard boost. We want the brass shield because it has by far the best guard boost of medium shields. And that's just really nice to have. These punks are the ones who have the brass shields, so we'll stop and kill them. Also, just you can see the use of having bulk. Just a really handy little thing. Wild Strikes is a really good Ash of War as well. Pick up. Something that's worth mentioning, I haven't done it much, but it is worth pointing out, is that you can block with while two-handing weapons. You'll still take damage and lose a chunk of stamina and get shot in the face by a ballista. But it's a useful trick, and there's ways to actually make this surprisingly potent and nasty if you set up quickly. Anyone who tries to tell you that going around blocking stuff is a bad way to play, you can ignore them. Oh hey, we got a second Woodshorn straight sword. Sorry, just that ballista bolt sending us flying. I believe there is some useful stuff in the graveyard back there. I'll have to go and look into that later. I'm not going to do it right now because my brain is definitely starting to feel a little frazzled. So we're just going to go here. Just the campfire. We're going to make sure we have our stuff equipped. Now I mentioned that this guy, the Margate Shackle, is usable against a boss. Well, guess what? This is the boss we're coming up against. We're just going to skip that. Buff our weapon and boom! Now note, it only works in his first phase, and it only works 3 times. But look at how easy that made that fight. Margate is a really important boss because he gives us the talisman pouch. And the talisman pouch lets us equip a second talisman. But you didn't see that coming. There are some really good options. I'm just going to actually pop on the Flame Drake seal though, briefly, and we will pop over here and do one more boss just to demonstrate why you might want the Flame Drake seal equipped on. Players who've done this game before might... Yeah, notice that with that on we've got 21% fire. It's worth pointing out that our Source Seal does compromise things, but look at how much 31% reduced fire damage if we take the Source Seal off. We're still getting more HP than we lose. Basically right now the Source Seal is still well worth having, but yeah. Dragonburnt Ruins. If you like weapons, there is actually the... You can get the Twin Blade. I think it's the Twin Blade. I can't remember its proper name. Down in here. There's also a hilarious and unfair trap, which I should probably go and trip at some point to demonstrate just how easy it is to actually deal with said trap. Anyway, we're not going to worry too much. We're just going to start bonking on a heal. We'll bring out Oleg. Oleg's a big help. Dragons take more damage if you can nail them in the face somehow. I did that on accident, even though it looked awesome. You can evade things by hopping on or off torrent. Oops. You can also, you know, get yourself completely owned like that. Also good on dragons, once you stance break them and do the critical hit, they take about 10% more damage afterwards. Unfortunately, dragon fights are very RNG. Because how easy it is often depends a lot on what he tries to do move-wise. You can actually surprisingly make fights easier simply by not pulling a summon out, because the AI will be more predictable when it's just you. Is that worth it? I leave that to you as a player. I think ashes are good to use overall. I don't think the RNG... I think if you're having trouble, like you're still going to be having trouble without the ash to help split its attention and things. RNG being... the AI being more predictable without a summon isn't really going to help a new player in my opinion. Cool. Let's just really quickly do one last thing. So there is a really cruel and unfair trap that they stick in this area. Like, it is mean. Absolutely, positively, ridiculously mean. I thought we actually might be strong enough to complete that dungeon already. But anyway, so there is this trap which you could. Oh no, you opened it. You fell for it. Ah. And the worst bit of this trap is the way it's set up to trick you into thinking that you have to complete a mid-level cave to get out. And I am here to tell you that that's fucking bullshit. You do not. You want to get out of here? You just run down over this way. I was hoping to fight one of those to see how we did, but I'm just going to run away. Unlike basically every other fucking crystal tunnel, the exit is right here. Ta-da! And you're out. I think you still have to rest at the campfire to release you from the teleport block? Probably. Yeah, there we go. Rest at the campfire, you can get out. Very, very silly. Ow. I didn't actually know it could do that. Anyway, we'll just wait here and hopefully get this guy faster. Ah! Got a poison armament. Nice. Not actually hugely useful, but it's something we can keep in mind. Oh, and I've triggered something's aggro, so I need to run away so that I can actually walk back. Oh yeah, technically these things can move, like just to add to their PP what the hell factor. Oh yeah, also rotten stray ashes. I completely forgot that those were around here. They are a nice little thing because they inflict scarlet rot. One last level into faith. We can now cast Flame Can't Be Strength. You might have been wondering why I've been wanting to get this. Well, have a look at our weapon right now. We're doing 114 fire, 114 physical. If we cast our thing, we jump. If we do that right, we jump up to 120 fire. Flame grant us strength. If I press the button right. If we look in our status, gives us another 20% boost, and you can see our AR is now 447. That is a lot of AR. Like, that is a very significant amount of damage. Doesn't last super long. 30 seconds or something. I cannot remember. There we go. But it's absolutely not nothing, and it's a pretty handy thing to have access to. Yeah, I'm going to stop here for now, folks. I am frazzled, apparently. I hope it's been informative and interesting. Next time, we will tackle Stormvale.